Yeah, hi guys. This is Pradeep Srivastav. Welcome to my channel. See, what happens if I told you that large companies like Reliance, Tata, HDFC, and all these companies, they do record breaking sales numbers not because of sheer luck, right? It is because of a strategy, because of some certain strategies and techniques, right? So what I'm going to do today is going to talk to you about the five unique selling techniques which these large corporates are using in India and they're getting successful. Once you know this, you can apply it tomorrow for yourself and for your companies, right? So it's this particular video is going to be very interesting. Do like it, share and subscribe in case if you haven't done as yet, and I'm sure you're going to like this content. So please watch till the end. That's my request, and please do give your feedback in comments. See, what I no, the reason why I'm telling you all these techniques is I'm not talking about the old school of thought. I'm not talking about the old selling techniques which are generally imparted to us time to time. I'm going to talk to you about the real situations. I'm going to talk about real companies who are making record breaking numbers. So let me come to the first technique. Tata and Infosys, they don't sell, right? What do? They solve problems, right? They train their teams, these large corporates, they train their team that 70% of the time is to listen to the customer and talking is only 30%, which essentially means 70% of the time you listen and 30% of the time you talk. Right. And I've been telling in most of my sales video that listening is much more important than talking, and 80% of your time should be spent on listening. And if you are very talkative and aggressive, probably it may make you lose the team. Right. And then probably you're not able to understand the need of the customer and probably not able to solve the problems. Right. So this is what the Tatas and Infosys do in India. They use one simple principle: 70% listening and 30% talking. Right. So how do they do that? So there are two takeaways. One is that you should ask open-ended questions, right? So as we all know that in probing we have two types of questions. One is open-ended questions and the other one is closed-ended questions. So you need to ask open-ended questions so that the customer can talk. And when the customer can talk, you listen and probably you infer from that the need or the problem, right? And second important takeaway for all the salespeople is that position yourself. You have to position yourself as a partner, right? You have to position yourself as a partner and not like a seller. That's very, very important. So once you start talking, once you start pushing, then you probably get into the segment of selling, and that is where the things do not work out well. Probably if you position yourself as a partner, the customer feels that you are in a consultative mode and you're listening to him, right? So in India, where trust is everything, listening sells more than talking. So that's the bottom line, guys. And the first technique used by Tata Motors and Infosys is consultative selling, right? I've already put a video a couple of months before on consultative selling. You should always watch that. Second selling technique, which many of the large corporates are using. Let me talk about the companies like HDFC, Asian Paints, right? These two companies who are large corporates and they have always record breaking sales. So what is the selling technique these type of large corporate companies use? See, HDFC doesn't close in one visit, right? Their relationship managers will follow up, right? They will remember your birthdays, and they will maintain constant touch points. That is very, very important. In Asian Paints, what do they do? The dealers are trained to maintain long-term bonds, right? In Asian Paints, the dealers are trained to maintain long-term bonds with the painters, with the contractors, and loyalty drives repeat business. So that's what they do. So in SDFC, it's very clear they are in constant touch with you through some touch points, and they build up on that. Whereas in Asian Paints, they believe in having a very strong relationship with the painters, with the contractors, and they get into a long-term bonding, right? So this is what these large corporates do, right? So what are the takeaways for people like us? The first takeaway is you should not chase transactions. Don't chase transactions. You need to build relationships. I repeat, don't chase transactions, build a relationship. And the second takeaway is keep your CRM updated, right? Small gestures make big difference. They create, lifetime customers, right? They create lifetime clients. So the selling technique used by SDFC Bank or Asian Paints is relationship building. So the second selling technique, which I emphasize right now and share with you, is relationship building. So, guys, I think I spoke about four corporates, and we came to know the selling techniques what they use. Few of the corporates were using selling technique as relationship building, and few corporates were using the selling technique of consultative selling. Right. Let me come to the third selling technique, right, which is again very very interesting, and it is used by companies like Reliance Retail, Flipkart, these kind of companies. Okay, so what do they do? Reliance Retail and Flipkart, they track every customer behavior. The first thing they do is they track customer behavior. They track your preferences and the timings, right? See, very, very important. So three things: the customer behavior, the patterns, the preferences, and the timings, right? And every offer, SMS and push notification is personalized. So you feel, like if it is sending to me, if they are sending it to me, they say, "Dear Pradeep, we have this offer for you. This is the new thing which is going to happen." So it's very personalized, right? And that's not coincidence, right? They believe on data, so they work on data. So it's driven by data. So that's what they do. So what are the takeaways for people like you and me? First thing is use analytics, right? So analytics plays a very important role. Even if you're maintaining in Excel, if you do not maintain in a CRM, that will also do. But the question is, do you maintain that Excel? Do you maintain that in CRM? Because the data is ultimately the treasure on which you can build your sales, right? Because that is what will give you ample of opportunities if you keep working on the data, right? Second thing is, you should know what your customer wants before they say it. So you are able to understand the customer behavior, the preferences, and that is how you build up the things, right? So if you know that, it becomes a lot easier for you to push your case and probably make a sale, right? And the third one is, in this case, the third takeaway for you and me is, sales is no longer guessing. Yeah, it is all about data, right? So to sum it up, what I mean to say is, these two companies, Reliance Retail and Flipkart, the sales technique they use is data-driven sales, right? In fact, to talk a little more about it, you will find, many of the companies today in the e-commerce world and the omni-channel world are using data as the main selling technique, right? So their every decision, every push is through data. Right? So data is very, very important. Analytics is very, very important in today's world. What do you say? Do let me know, and do comment in the same comment box that have you actually benefited by maintaining a data, right? So let me come to the fourth one. Fourth one is also a very important technique which is probably used by many of the companies. Here I'm going to talk about companies like Amazon India. I'm going to talk about companies like Hindustan Lever, HUL, and what do they do? How do they sell? What is this technique they use? First thing is, Amazon always suggests that frequently bought together, right? They will always suggest you that if you when you're browsing the page, that what were the frequently bought items, right? Hindustan Lever will always promote combos and refills, right? They will always promote combos and refills, right? These small add-ons multiply sales without new customers. So when they do that, by default, you tend to probably pick up something from the references they have shown of the earlier purchases you have made, or the recent purchases people are making, and you tend to buy a few things, right? And what does Hindustan Lever do? Because of the combos they say do, and because of the refills they do, it probably tempts the customer to buy more, right? So the takeaway for people like you and me is, when a customer says yes, it is your moment to offer more, right? So when the customer is coming to you, coming to your page, right, or coming to buy your product, you're offering more. You're trying to offer more, right? And second thing, you're bundling the solutions, right? You're bundling the solutions and not just the product. So that's the important point, guys. So what I mean to say is, the companies like Amazon India and HUL, they use the selling technique called upselling and cross-selling, right? So that is what they do. So upselling and cross-selling is the technique, the fourth technique, which companies like Amazon and HUL do. Sounds interesting? So, guys, I spoke about four selling techniques, and this is the last one. So don't get impatient, because the video is about to end. And let me put these 5 points and sum it up so that you get a fair amount of idea of the 5 selling techniques, unique selling techniques, which are used by large corporates in India. And you probably can, get some insight from them and use it for yourself, right? So the fifth one is that companies like Tata, Amul, Apple India, what do they do? Let's come to Amul. What does Amul do? Amul is they sell emotions, right? They don't sell butter, right? They sell emotions. If you see the wordings, what they put on, the ads they put on, it is all about emotions, right? And Tata, what does Tata do? Tata only sells trust right from the starting, right? And they don't sell steel. They don't sell the product. They sell the trust, right? So very clearly, Amul sells emotions. Tata, sells what you say trust, and their stories connect with. Well, if you closely watch, the stories will connect with Indian values like integrity, reliability, and family, right? So get closer to you, right? That's what they do. They don't they so the takeaway for you and me is they don't sell the product. Sell what it means. They sell what it means, right? And the second thing is they craft a short brand story around why you exist, right? So these are the two things they do. Two takeaways what you can take, guys. And so finally, what I did is I spoke about 5 selling techniques which this probably large corporates use, and they are successful and they have record breaking numbers. So if I have to put all of them together, the first one was consultative selling. If you remember, I spoke about consultative selling, and the second one was about relationship building. This second selling technique was relationship building, and the third one was data-driven sales, and the fourth one was upselling and cross-selling, and the fifth one was storytelling and brand immersion. Right. So these were the 5 selling techniques which are used by large corporates in India in today's world to make it happen. Right. So that's what it is, guys. I found it very interesting, and I thought I should probably share with you. Do not forget, liking and sharing it with your colleagues, and subscribe so that I can give you come with more real world business wisdom, right? So don't forget to save this video for the next before you go to the next client call, right? Thank you very much for your listening. Thank you for your patience. And the first good thing what you have done is you have spent time listening instead of talking, right? So that's a big win. Thank you very much. Namaskar.